morning calls to return for sin. Leaving surges to get the reference stone. I've been there on knees and prayed. I try into you. It's all in my head. The slate is clean and nice. I'm running from again. I'll be keeping you past in.
Like pack everything and like just have enough clothes for like the next 6 days.
Gotta tweet my mom. She's the best way to stay in contact with people. Twitter's great. Always have an electric toothbrush. We live in a modern town. I don't know where you wouldn't have an electric toothbrush.
Ow, it hurts. Because deodorant doesn't do anything. Deodorant is just about as good as the toothpaste. It doesn't do, as far as like an antiperspirant is concerned, it doesn't do anything. Creams don't sweat. Must be such an awesome luxury to have. November 29th of last year. That's actually not bad at all. Completely undersold this coffee before I tasted it. The bus from my school. I don't know if I'm actually showing up at the right time for work today. Like, we don't have Parents' Day stuff, so I don't think I should be here early. And nobody's called me. So I think this is okay.
When I graduated college, I wanted to go to more school after that, go to graduate school. So I've got a history and a Spanish, double major, but neither of those are worth very much alone. But before I wanted to go to more grad school and get in debt, I decided to move out of the country for a while and, get some more experiences before I'm locked down.
And coming to Korea was a decision to kind of get out of this previous, early 20s, quarter life crisis kind of thing. Sometimes you feel like you're going nowhere. So just changing the scenery helps either to escape something or to shed light on a different aspect of yourself.
Oh, well, I think it's the same as most people, thinking, I have a degree now, you're going to get a good job. And then I ended up in a call center for selling gas and electricity. So I thought, what am I doing?
The main perk that stood out for me teaching abroad was I wouldn't be unemployed, I think, which is a big deal these days.
People are coming out of university and they're going into the exact same jobs I'm talking about. You've got call centers. A lot of my friends are in Walmart equivalent, which is called Asda in England. You're sitting there 20, £30,000 in debt, but you're working in a supermarket. It's not the best of situations. A lot of people are getting out of the country for that very reason.
And it's going to be hard for you to get a job anyway. So coming to Korea, it's great because there's plenty of jobs. There's jobs galore. I could quit my job 5 times over and walk into employment the next day.
If you teach in Korea, it's like a proper job. It's not like you finish university and you go, and like, no disrespect to people, but like if you go and finish university and you end up working in Burger King or in fast food, which I used to do, and it's the same thing as you were doing before university. I mean, you can teach English almost anywhere that doesn't have a lot of people from that country who speak English.
You know, the Southeast Asia, you've got Thailand, Vietnam,
Taiwan.
Russia is just opening up now.
China and Japan are very good. I think Japan actually pays more, but the cost of living's higher.
And I think out of all of them, Korea probably gets paid the most.
Honestly, I think a lot of how people hire here is based on looks rather than qualifications. But you have to be from the right country. You need a degree. And that's about it, really. It's not as stringent as other countries are.
There's more jobs than there are teachers, so you're never going to run out of good opportunities. It just depends on, do you want to be living in the sticks like we are? Do you want to be in a big city? Do you want to be in a public school? Do you want to be in a private school?
Compared to most jobs in the world, we've got a really, really fair deal here, for sure, and a good opportunity to save a lot of money as well.
So I'm here paying on all my things with my experience and my degree. This is the highest paying job that I've attempted to get, and it's paying off everything quite well. So I'm going to be here for the year as long as my school keeps me. They kind of don't like me at the moment, but we'll see if I can fix that.
Korea, for a lot of Americans, when we think of Korea, we think of North Korea. But then once you learn a little bit about South Korea, before I ever visited, I thought of it as, like really advanced technology, kind of like Japan, futuristic.
Growing up, I never really knew or heard much about Korea. And I had a neighbor who was Korean, but all I knew from her was the kimchi thing.
I don't think we thought anything. I think we were in Thailand and we were like, China's too complicated to get a visa to. Japan's too expensive. Oh, Korea's in the middle.
Nothing. They eat with chopsticks, they have barbecue. It's by North Korea. They're on Fox News a lot. That's all I got.
My flight to Korea was a really horrible flight. I think I spent about 18 hours on a plane.
There was a little Korean man holding a sign with our names on it. And he grabbed our stuff and he put us in a van. He drove us about an hour and a half out here.
I remember getting off the bus, and you kind of have a lot of what on earth am I doing moments when you move to another country, but getting off the bus was the biggest one because the bus stop's right on the edge of town, and so when you get off the bus, it looks like you're in a farm village, not a town. And I remember walking through town, and all of the signs seemed so alien. And then I got driven back to my apartment, and I was surprised how little I got by means of, they told me how to work the hot water, and then my boss kind of went on his way. He said, get some food, there's a convenience store just there.
The first few days in Hyeongnam was very interesting. My school, they showed me my apartment, they took me to Home Plus and bought me stuff. And they showed me where my school was, did a basic orientation, but other than that, I didn't know anybody in Hyeongnam.
And you get here and you realize even the most simple thing is incredibly difficult. And we're trying to catch a bus, and you don't give the bus driver your money, and I didn't realize you should put it in a little box on the bus. And I remember almost crying because I'm on this bus, he's driving, waving money in this bus driver's face, and he's shouting at me, and I don't know why he's shouting at me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And so that's really difficult. And when you first come, you don't have a mobile phone, you don't necessarily know a lot of the language, and that's really difficult just to do normal everyday things.
Hyeongnam is basically just like a satellite city of Hwasong, and for whatever governmental reasons to get more people into the area, it's just like you build a whole brand spanking new town, and apparently there's a housing shortage.
So it's a very quiet town as far as foreigners went. There were a lot of new apartment buildings popping up everywhere, a lot of Korean mommies pushing their babies in carriages, coffee shops, and phone shops as usual. It was kind of like a very sterile town. A lot of big apartment complexes that all look the same. And then a lot of bars that, we would find our favorites and go out to a couple times a week with other foreigners, of course.
Foreigners here, especially anyone that's social, you need some sort of community.
I find your first friends are obviously always your co-workers, and then you can always bound to be foreign. And some more people that are around the area as well. As much as it's great and how much everybody wants to have the foreign friends and stuff, when you first get here, I mean, the first thing you want to do to make a friend base is to find people that are the same as you, and obviously that's just the same anywhere.
Here, people are interested in what you have to say, and you're interested to see what they have to say. It's completely new, completely different. You got foreigners from England, you got foreigners from Africa, you got foreigners from America, foreigners from Canada. So it's really neat just meeting other people from all over the world in a different country where you guys get together because you all speak the same language.
I said, it's impossible that it will snow tomorrow. And I was just testing out my impossible that I just learned. And she looked at me and she goes, Ricky, it's not winter, it's fall. Okay, this.
You got wine, we have alcohol, you got everything.
In Korea, I don't feel I have to be completely safe at some point. In England or America.
Get home safely.
Okay.
Yes, King's game. So you will get one card. Maybe it's the king, maybe it's the 4, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 2, maybe it's the 1.
Making friends here is very weird and different. Last week I was with a friend and we were in a park, and we saw some white people walking past, and so we just hollered at them and we said, "Hey, white people," like this, and they came over and we made friends. It's really easy to make friends with foreigners in Korea.
Number 1 has to twerk.
Number 1.
And then over the months, new foreigners would pop up and we would obviously recognize there were new people in town. So we were pretty outgoing and pretty, excited to meet other Koreans in town. So about meeting people and, you know, finding who you click with, who you don't, but also like becoming really close to people that you might not be good friends with back at home.
So number 1 has to put one Q-tip up their nose for 1 round.
Hungnam does have a lot of Hagwons for its size. 7 English?
I would say more probably. but
Maybe
yeah.
even more than 7 English Hagwons.
English is a really big deal in Korea. Like, if you want a good job, you need to speak English, even if you don't need English for that job.
Hagwon system is very common. Every single student has to go to Hagwon after school. They don't play outside.
Usually, children will finish their public school maybe about 2 o'clock, and they'll go to Hagwon for about 3 o'clock, and they'll learn extra subjects. And there's a Hagwon for everything in Korea. There's lots of my kids do piano Hagwon or cello Hagwon.
Math, taekwondo, aikido.
I've had students that go to Chinese Hagwons, French Hagwons. There's a Spanish Hagwon in Hongdae.
Everything you can imagine there's a Hagwon for. Just a way to keep the children away until maybe the father gets back from work.
The Korean mommies, you know, really, really, really push their kids to be the best at everything.
And you know what? Okay, one mom send her babies to go Hagwon piano, taekwondo, English, math, something, anything, art. Then, okay, the neighbors heard about that. Okay, my kid go to piano class, cello class, taekwondo class, English class, math class. Then she thinks, oh, I should send my baby, send my kid attend that kind of thing. So it's very common. Everyone does it. But they don't know what their kids really want. So I don't like it.
I think there's a lot of pressure to do well, and there's really not a culture where failure is an option in Korea.
I feel like some of the parents do push their kids to the limits. I work with 5-year-olds. They come to our school at 9 o'clock in the morning and they don't leave until sometimes 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they usually go to another school, some type of play school or an art school or piano school, and sometimes even another school after that.
Of course they don't want. They want to play outside. But they should do, because the pressure of their parents.
I'll actually get calls up from moms like, give them more homework, but I don't know. I just feel like they're sometimes overloaded, and I could tell that, and sometimes I just...
Is it bad that I work here and I'm part of this system where we just completely emotionally drain children? We just, they have a really tough time. Korean kids are the most depressed kids in the world statistically. I think you can either just say, oh, I don't want to be a part of that, or you can say, well, I'm going to try and make it as good as I possibly can. But I think making it as good as you possibly can is the best way.
오이씨. 이제 너 하나 줄게. 짜잔.
다시 하려고?
엄마.
알았어.
But you don't say because, you say cause. Right? We like to drink this. Perfect. 자, 안전기획이다.
안 좋아하냐? 너 안 좋아하냐? 노래방? 내가 너 몰라 넌 핵이
야, 나 가야 돼 집에. 가야 돼.
Just this?
딜리셔스. You made it. Open. 팀. 딜리셔스. 딜리셔스. 오케이.
Better than yours?
빨리.
맛있게 더.
길어. 이야기하면 길은데 처음에 나는 형이랑 저기 향남 걷다가 길을 가고 있었는데 처음에 데이브하고 필하고 만났지. 나는 형이 술 많이 먹어서 가다가 갑자기 이제 걔들한테 필하고 데이브한테 이야기를 건 거야. 그래서 서로 그날 가서 데이브하고 나하고 이제 술 마시고 다음에 만나자고 약속을 했거든. 다음에 또 한잔 하자고 했고 번호를 이제 교환하고 만났지. 두 번째인가 세 번째 때.
그때가 디퍼봤는데 거기 나도 있어.
그렇지, 디퍼봐 세 번째.
키위치랑 나랑 빌, 데이브, 스티브 이렇게 있다가 나머지는 먼저 가고 빌이랑 케이트만 남았지.
그렇지.
처음에 왜 좋았어? 뭐가 끌렸어?
끌린 게 아니라 처음에는 신기했어.
왜?
외국 애들이 다 신기해. 외국 애들이 다 신기했어. 완전 와 어메이징.
승리야? 이름하고
지어주실 것 같은데 내가
멀리서 1초 2정도라고 했어.
케이트하고 이제 연락처를 이제 받아서 이제 계속 이제 연락했지. 근데 괜찮더라고. 케이트가 말한 것도 계속 만났지. 이야기하고 연락했고. 그래서 케이트하고 이제 그렇게 만난 거야. 연락하고 만나자. 친구들 만날 때 만나면 계속 나오고. 좋았어.
좀 가까이.
3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Beautiful shot.
Perfect.
안 보여.
Send message.
잠깐만 안 꺼도 되는 거야 다들?
야. Bye. Bye to loved one. Bye.
Why you? Show. Fire.
3, 2, 1.
Some of the difficulties I faced in the beginning is when you really didn't know, for me anyway, zero Korean, like when I first came here.
No Korean words or phrases whatsoever. I didn't even know how to say hello.
I knew how to say hello and thank you, and that was it.
I remember
We
looking
knew
on.
nothing.
Oh, you knew nothing. I remember looking on YouTube, trying to find how to say hello.
And he messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Oh, Catherine,
This is ridiculous.
this is so long."
Because I know now when we say it quick, like 안녕하세요, like it's so fast. But when you read that and somebody's on YouTube saying to you, 안녕하세요 is hello, it's like, I was so scared of the language being so hard and so crazy, you know. And so when we came here, it was like we knew next to nothing.
I never really had to learn much Korean. I learned travel Korean and food Korean and introduction But past that, I don't know how to speak I don't know how to speak any of the formal parts of the language.
I don't study as much as I used to, but I do still. Naturally, you just pick up different things, or you go to a shop and you say, "Oh, how do you say this?" And you look it up on your phone, and then you know.
They're happy. People are happy if you try to speak their language. You may sound like shit. Granted, I possibly sound like shit. But I think if you teach English and you speak Korean with your students, the students will correct you instantly.
I've made a good effort, I think, and I can speak quite a large amount of Korean now to get by in everyday life. I'm pretty fine. How is your Korean, Catherine?
I don't speak any Korean.
What if I could see? What if I could feel so many regrets away?
We're at Phoenix Park, Pyeongchang. It's where the Olympics, I think, are going to be held in 2018. Yeah, so 18, yeah, looks really nice. Coming to snowboard. Do some face plants. Go down the slopes of my ass. How do you say what the fuck in Korean?
Let's forget your homework tomorrow. Just drink up and cheers to the morning sun.
Let's do that, Othello.
Time in Korea goes by really quickly. The first month was really slow because everything's new and every day seems like a really big deal. But then all of a sudden you've been here for 10 months and you don't know how.
I think one interesting thing about living in a foreign country is people's perception of living in a foreign country. They think I'm like on some sort of permanent vacation, which, you know, in some ways it is, because I don't have as much worries as I do back home about certain things. But at the same time, living in a foreign country, you have sort of stresses that you wouldn't think of.
You know, not everything the same. The electricity's not the same, so you got to worry about your electronics. You know, we don't have a dryer here. We got to hang our clothes up on a rack instead. You got to figure out all these little differences, and you're gonna have to take a shower in, you know, an entire room. They don't have bathtubs here. Maybe you really don't like that, so you're gonna find little differences here and there. That's different to traveling, because now you live here. So,
but then you got your first bus journey, or your first trip to a restaurant, your first subway, your first trip to Seoul. a lot of that stuff is really difficult because even like the simplest thing suddenly becomes really difficult because it's just so different to back home.
Small inconveniences, but they really like add up and they make things way more stressful than they have to be.
Sometimes you get desensitized to the differences, and then like when my parents came and visited or when my sister came and visited, I kind of took a step back and I realized how different everything is.
Mine was maybe the lunch and finding
Oh yeah, Korean food.
new little sea creatures that you never knew existed in soup.
She looks like I don't know what you're doing with those chopsticks.
I usually will start off with the chopsticks for about the first 10-15 minutes before I ask for a fork.
That's like stabbing stuff.
I'm like, okay, I'm only getting like one thing at a time. Can I just have a fork, please?
Yeah, but you do try every time. Which
I try.
It's nice.
Sometimes Koreans are incredibly easily impressed when I use chopsticks.
Catherine Sam.
We had a ramen party the other day at school. I bring them their ramen
Forks.
and I brought them forks. And they look at me like, why would you bring me a fork for this? And then they like all pull out their like secret chopsticks.
It's just in the pocket.
They're like, actually, teacher. I'm like, okay then.
Korean food is my favorite thing about living in Korea. I don't know, there's such a wide variety, and it's the kind of cuisine that you don't really get a lot back home. You know, living in Arkansas, I probably only ate Korean food once or twice before I ever came to Korea.
Okay, bibimbap, kimbap,
Kimchi
obviously, rice.
Any type of seafood you could think of, and it's really fresh. You get fresh fish, fresh crab, fresh clams, fresh mussels.
Lots of little side dishes with vegetables in it. They're usually very delicious. A lot of different flavors. A lot of work put into it compared to other cuisines.
I don't know about Koreans. Koreans eat, like, a lot of the time they'll just eat rice and kimchi for dinner.
Okay, Korean people usually eat a square meal for breakfast. Unlike Westerners, we always eat like rice, soup, stew, and some side dishes. And very all healthy, like that.
I think for Westerners, because we don't have big kitchens in our apartments or anything, like we eat a lot of takeout food. So stuff like kimbap, which is it's like a roll. People say it's like sushi, but it's maybe like blue collar sushi. So stuff like that. Pork's cheap here, beef's expensive. So people eat like pork barbecue here a lot. And then I guess you probably want to ask me about the dog issue. I've had people say like, oh, have you eaten dog? Like Koreans have asked me, and I've asked my kids, and usually they say that, oh, yeah, my uncle took me to eat dog or something like that. But
I've had, what is weird? I've eaten dog. Most people, oh, you inhuman person, you inhumane. Oh no, you can't eat dog. I've tried dog. It kind of tastes like chicken. I was kind of tricked into eating it, but I ate it. Whatever.
Dog meat is very popular in Korea. It's a stamina, really. Many people think that way. And some, okay, even my mom got a surgery, and after recover, she ate dog meat because she believed, maybe not probably, everyone believes dog meat will give her lots of energy. Yeah, so many people eat it.
Yeah, Sanachi. Sanachi is fantastic. I personally, it's gonna be one of the foods that I miss the most in Korea. No joke. Sanachi is a live, uncooked octopus. It's not like you're grabbing an octopus and just trying to eat the whole thing, because octopus, they put up a fight. I've killed 4 octopi, pardon me, since being in Korea, and they, much like any creature would when you're trying to murder it while it's alive so you can eat it, it puts up a hell of a fight. It's throwing tentacles everywhere, it's trying to stick to your fingers and your hands, it's grabbing the knife that you're trying to cut it with, and it's a barbaric and brutal process. You're just chopping the legs off of a living octopus and then taking those legs that still move and still cling to life and cling to everything else around it. You cut those legs up into small little leg chunks. And you usually add like, I don't know what exactly they put in it. It's probably like some kind of like sesame oil and like salt and pepper mix. And they toss that together in kind of this like half-dead octopus leg salad, if you will. And then you just eat it, and it's still kind of squirming when it's in your mouth. You gotta chomp it. Some people, it's been reported, some people get a little disrespectful of the octopus's ability, and they don't cut the legs up as small as they should, or they don't chew it as well as they should, so that when they swallow it, it sticks to the insides of their throat and it suffocates them. And that's, you know, if you're gonna be a dick and not prepare it right, I think that's exactly what should happen to you, being disrespectful to a creature that you just brutally murdered like that. Like, it's funny. It's fun. It's a tragically funny way to die.
Ready? Start videoing.
Is there a bigger one? Oh, that's like a brain.
Ow!
There you go.
Chew it more than you think you should.
Oh, look, it's like rolling in the sauce by itself. Okay, here we go.
맛있어?
I did some pictures but no video.
캡스틱, here.
Like, sticks to the side of your mouth and that, right? So strange.
But it's delicious. It's chewy in the best way that meat can be chewy, and the flavor. I mean, like live octopus doesn't really taste like much. It doesn't taste fishy. It's a little slimy, but it's not slimy to where it's off-putting. It's a really clean, simple, pleasing dish. I really enjoy it. I don't know where I'm gonna get live octopus back in Michigan, but I'll look for it.
I was drinking egg milk. I drank cold egg milk.
What day is it?
It's Christmas.
I'm dirty. I'm dirty Santa.
Could Mike steal somebody's present now?
No, he's the lowest.
He's got to go to New York.
Yeah, I feel bad.
와서 해.
진짜 착하게 왜 이렇게 하죠? 사진은 찍힌다.
야, 뭐해?
Very big.
We'll help you. I love it's like the Pacific Ocean. Large,
Oh, that's nice.
deep,
That's not no. 네.
sometimes rough.
미국? 엄청 자유로울 것 같아. 자유.
한국이랑 비슷할 것 같아.
아니. 더 한국보다 더 좋을 것 같아. 내가 미국 영화를 보면 더 화려하고 더 재밌고 판타지. 진짜 재밌을 것 같아. 미국은 한국보다. 한국은 시시해. 한국은 시시하고 미국은 더 재밌을 것 같아. 진짜.
I thought foreigners cannot eat spicy food. That's why they have lots of hair on their chest. Yeah, it is true. But I don't think so now. Maybe they ate a lot of greasy food. Bacon? I don't know. And I thought Western people are selfish. Yeah, they only care themselves. They don't care the people around themselves. But it wasn't true. All of my foreign friends, maybe some people do that, but all my foreign friends are so nice.
As a foreigner, so people treat you differently. Some people will like avoid you. Some people will, like, even if you try and say something to them, they'll walk the other way. Taxi drivers sometimes will say no. And then on the other hand, some people will give you special treatment. Right now we're sat next to one of my favorite cafes. Every time I go in there, I get free stuff because I'm foreign. People will make friends with you just because you're foreign. So it's a mixed bag of reactions.
They don't know. They don't know what it's like to be a foreigner because they don't have a lot of foreigners. We're in America. We have so many different people. We grow up with them. But to them, to see somebody who looks different than them, they just stare. And, you know, they're not trying to be mean. They're just trying to, like, that might be the only chance they get to see a foreigner. And, you know, they just want to take it in. They want to look at you. They want to sometimes try to talk to you.
Oh my God. Is it from UK? Scotland?
이게 포켓이면 이제 휴대용.
휴대용?
포켓.
네네.
좀 보자고.
맞아요. No, it's for right here.
Okay.
It's good for 야구 game. Drink. 야구.
우리도 이런 게 있지. 우리도 이런 거 있지. 소주. 잉글랜드 풋볼 박지성.
아, 네, 박지성. 대박.
유나이트
Korea does not portray like me in like a good fashion at all. Like on TV, it's not nice.
A lot of my friends that are African American or African in general, South Africa, they have difficulty getting Hagwon, private school jobs in Seoul because of discrimination.
In Gyeongnam specifically, I've gotten so many double takes. I've gotten shrieks. Like I was in Home Plus and I walked down this aisle. This girl walked down too. We met. She gasped like, and I was like, what the hell?
Oh, that little girl who said wow.
Yeah, the little girl said
girl.
wow. Like she like stopped. She just wow, and it kept going until I was down the street. I could still hear her. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I've had the experience a lot of times where a kid will just sat there going, Oma, wegukinio, which just means mum, it's a foreigner. And at home they're saying, oh mum, look, foreign person. Wouldn't be okay. But here, I never really mind.
I hated walking through the streets of Gyeongnam my first 2 or 3 weeks. It was just like, oh, and I'm like, oh, Weiguk, oh, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, I'm so human.
And when I went to get my visa, I got told, oh, that you might see when you go to this visa place, you could see someone asking some really hard questions to some of the people there. Or you might think it looks really scary, but don't worry, that's not for you. You're white. You don't have to worry about hard questions in the visa office.
But I mean, I think attitudes are changing, especially with the younger generation as the country's opened up. I know that maybe about 20 years ago it was very rare to see a foreigner in Korea at all. But now that we've had a lot of people teaching English here and a lot of people are exposed to foreigners and a lot of Koreans travel, I think things are changing.
So I'm leaving. So that's that concept introduced. Yeah, I'm leaving Gangnam now. I should have left Gangnam about 20 minutes ago, but we're playing a bit of overtime. So, I don't know. This is my house from the last year. So this is trash I need to take out. And there's a couple more bags inside. My contract came to an end yesterday. I'll start my new contract in a week, so I'm technically unemployed today, which is interesting. So, yeah, I have to move out of my house today because I've not got a contract, so I've not got a house. My next job is teaching kindergarten in Guri city, which is near Seoul. How many bags? This one is my books, and these two down here. It's hard getting everything to squeeze out. I threw loads of clothes out yesterday. This is a print from my friend for Christmas. Her daughter made it. It's very sweet. It was a very weird last day. No one at school really talked to me the last 2 weeks because when they found out I was leaving, they didn't want me to leave. And they were like, oh, Tim betrayed the school and all this, which is very different to what you get back home. But yeah, I got a little note from one of my co-workers in my... Oh, I lent her a book and she gave it back and there's a little note hidden inside. She was just like, oh yeah, like, thank you for working here, it's been really nice, it's been really helpful. But she still didn't speak to me for most of the day, on the last day. And then at the end, I got my boss is put me up in front of everyone. He's like, oh, this is Tim's last day today. And everyone was like, did the little very Korean style, clap, 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 clap. And I said, oh, 네, 감사합니다. 재미있었어요. Blah, 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 blah. It was really strange. I don't know, I wasn't expecting a round of applause or anything. And, yeah, I don't know. I spoke to my dad last night. He sounded really happy to hear from me, so I felt bad for not phoning so much. I tried before, I found out I'd been doing it wrong. So maybe not since like my birthday. So I write, but so he was really, really chuffed. So I felt really guilty. So I don't know. You can either work less and have less stuff, or you can work more and like you'll have extra money to pay for like just random shit you don't need. And everyone's like, well, I know what we're gonna do. And like, but if you ask anyone, it's like, oh, would you rather work like 3 hours and have like a basic level of stuff but not too much extra? Everyone will be like, yeah, I'll do that. When they actually choose to do it, no one like quits their job and goes part-time. But I could work like that, I could study online and be really chill.
It's not something that most people would associate with Korea before they came here, but Korea drinking culture is extremely important.
I was not aware until we have so many people outside our apartment at 2 a.m. screaming and yelling, grown men acting like children on a Tuesday.
I remember living in Gyeongnam and getting out of work at 10 p.m. and walking down the street and having to look down at the ground to avoid the puke puddles and see like the businessmen passed out everywhere. But that's normal.
Some guys singing in the middle of the road, you know, "Ooh, man," sleeping in the road. Somebody took their shoes off, took their jacket off, started sleeping in the middle of the road down there.
Korean people drink a lot. It's really common. The price of alcohol is really cheap. Really cheap. And even for public transportation, they can drink too. Korea is very convenient and very generous about that.
술 좋아해?
좋아해요. 술 좋아해요. 완전. 완전. I like it. 제일 좋아하는 거? 소주. 소주를 완전 좋아해요.
People say it's like vodka. It's pretty unpalatable stuff. But after a few, it goes down easy, and it's incredibly cheap. You can buy a liter for $3 or £2.
Well, yeah, soju is about 19% alcohol. And if you go out with a Korean and drink, you guys drink at least a bottle of it a night, a person, if not more.
Well, you always have a boss that takes you out and expects you to drink, even if you have to work in the morning. It's just kind of like a cultural norm here.
And you know, it's a big culture that's shot, especially if your boss is there or anybody older than you telling you to drink. You just drink, you know. You have no choice in the matter.
Drinking is ridiculous between foreigners in Korea. It's on a different level. It's different than anything back at home that I've ever seen. Like, I think my parents and my friends would be horrified if they saw the kind of drinking that happened here. It's just like, it's like natural. Drinking is natural, like as natural as breathing for Koreans.
Yeah, I drink every Saturday, religiously, heavily, without fail.
My first couple years in Korea, it was probably 5 nights a week.
Foreigners, you just have to. Like, here's the thing, like, if you're in, like, a big city like Seoul, you have all of these great drinking destinations and, like, nice club scenes and stuff, so you're gonna be drinking there because you have really nice locations to drink at, and it's a fun recreation. But then if you live somewhere in the middle of nowhere like Gyeongnam, it's kind of you drink anyways, but not because you have nice places to drink at. You drink because you have no nice places, period. So yeah, I don't know where you would live in Korea where you wouldn't feel inspired to drink in some capacity. Yeah.
Good. Long time no see, man. How you been? How's it? Yeah, pretty amazing, man. How's it? Oh, pretty good. Yeah. No, we don't. I'm smart.
Are you playing drinking games?
How you been?
Yeah.
영화 감독이 되겠다가 떠난 학교에서 내가 했었던
What should he have said?
You don't want to know. 역시 애국이다. 반드시 모두 다 내가 입학한 지 몇 달도 안 되어서 일로
Go chew. Go chew his drink.
우리 동네 걷고 싶은데 오늘 날씨 이제 영하 8도
Okay, time's up, time's up, time's up.
잘생기고 많이 먹는 남자를 보다가 유튜브서 맞아버린 새해 너를 행복하게 할 용기가 없어서 뛰쳐나온 어제의 단골 술집 한 친구는 술집에서 회계사 공부 한 친구는 알바짜리 서핑 나도 이제 그 파도에 함께 타야지 우울하다 말하기 싫어 내 장점은 감사할 줄 아는 거
Sundays are awful. Sundays are the worst day of the week in Korea. You got to go back to work the next day, which is terrible because you just dwell on that thought. And then you're viciously hungover. The hangover cycle in Korea is bad.
I get homesick usually on Sundays. You know, Sunday blues set in, and that's usually when I Skype with my family.
It's been a year and a half since I've seen my family. But yes, I do miss them sometimes. But I feel like overall I'm a lot happier here than I would be back at home.
So I've been away from home, away from America for almost 9 years now. And I've only been home twice. Originally, I had planned on being gone for a year and just getting the travel bug out of my system, but that didn't happen.
And I know when I do go home to visit them, my brothers are going to be a year and a half older. My brother's turning 18, my brother's turning 13. They've changed so much. And I've had relatives who died, but you know, it hasn't been as big of an impact because I'm so far away from it. So to me, it really feels like time has stayed still in Korea. It's so carefree and every day is almost the same. It's kind of repetitive and you're just in your own world over here while the world back at home is still going on.
About a month ago, my grandmother passed away. You know, I wish I could have been home with my family because my whole extended family came to her funeral and I wasn't there.
I always like to think that I'm not homesick. And then, for example, a couple of months ago, I spoke to my dad, and I started welling up, you know, like a lump in my throat, and I felt like I wanted to cry, and it's so strange. And I think my dad could like hear it on the phone, you know. So I think it just creeps up on you sometimes when, you know, you think you don't miss home, and then boom, it just hits you.
I really miss home. I really miss my family and friends, of course. But I also have like a whole new group of friends here that I consider my family. So, you know, you can feel alone but never lonely because, you know, you always have someone down the hall or, you know, in the next town over that you can go hang out with.
So I miss my friends back home, and I always say, oh, they're doing this, and I can't go. My friend's getting married. Like one of my really good friends is getting married, and there's just no way I could go back, and that is really difficult.
Most of my friends back home, they're working in a cubicle somewhere.
You know, a lot of them are still living in the same town that they grew up in and living down the street from their families. And when I told them that I was moving abroad, they couldn't really understand why I would do that. And they would ask me, so how long are you going for? What are you doing? They couldn't grasp like why I would leave America, why I would leave our home state. But to me, there was like nothing worse. That would be like my worst nightmare, is to live in the same town that I grew up in. A lot of them are, you know, on the regular asking me, all right, when are you coming home? Or come for a visit, but I can't give them a date. Every time I have a vacation, I like to travel and see other places in Asia. So it's hard to ever tell them an exact time that I'll be home. which is also hard because they're starting to have kids and getting married, and I am feeling like I'm missing out on a lot of that.
So when I first came, I used Skype to talk to people back home a lot, but since I've been here a while, we just kind of Facebook each other.
You definitely lose touch with some friends. I mean, the good one, it kind of culls out, you know, your friends, who are the close ones and who aren't.
But you kind of realize the people you don't need to speak to speak again.
Yeah, it's different. You know, you definitely lose touch with a lot of friends, but they understand. You understand, you know. I mean, overall, I do like the job. It's very, very interesting. Not long-term fulfilling in my regards, but I do enjoy it.
It's not where I see myself finishing. Like, if I taught in Korea forever, I mean, some people do that and they love it, but I think teaching in some form is what I want to do for the rest of my life, but maybe not Hagwon.
This is my first time teaching kids. I've never even been like a camp counselor, never really done anything where I had to like oversee the behavior and the actions of children. So this was different. This was really different for me. These kids are so young and they don't speak my language, and that's exactly what I'm trying to teach them. And a lot of them are here in my English class against their will. Their parents just sign them up for it. Like, it's a status thing. And I know that to a certain extent that me as a teacher, I'm not, because this is the first time I've done it, I'm not really trained that well to do it. I mean, I'm trained enough to not be stupid about it, but really to be like a really effective teacher, I just don't have the training and the qualifications to do it.
Let's say one of your worst kids is acting out. So then typically this kid may not know as much English, so you're trying to explain to him in English, you know, this is what you shouldn't be doing, but how do you discipline him when he doesn't even understand you in the first place?
I think that I'm not a teacher, I'm a selling point. I've said that before 100 times. I'm not really a teacher. That's my secondary function. I'm a selling point, considering that I'm at a private school and you send kids to this school to rack up accolades, because that's just what you do in the Korean education system. You're there, one, to learn, but two, to rack up accolades to get you to that next step. Be it, you know, am I going to like fancy high school, fancy college, getting fancy jobs, etc., etc., etc. It's a social conditioning that happens from a super duper young age, even the kids that I'm teaching.
Your bosses don't really listen to you because you're younger and you're foreign, so you're just beneath them. You're just shit, and you're just there as a puppet to perform for parents.
So, yeah, we're just faces. We're faces who are there to be trotted out for mommies so that they pay extra money to send their kids to a school.
A midnight run is when a teacher, usually right after they get paid, they have booked a flight, they pack all their stuff, and they leave in the middle of the night and they catch a plane out of Korea. This usually happens because they have some sort of workplace adversity, maybe homesickness.
Because this week, I honestly was going to wait till my next paycheck and buy a plane ticket and fucking go home. Because, like, my manager, he's such a shit manager. So the Korean teachers have been telling him, the ones who come to class with him, have been telling him, oh, my classes are boring, they're not interesting, the students are always misbehaving. Then in my head, I'm like, why the hell aren't you telling me this so I can do something about it, or tell me how to stop your fucking student from misbehaving?
I knew two people that did midnight runs. They both had problems with who they worked for. They didn't feel like they were being treated fairly, and so they waited till they got their paycheck, and then they flew out in the middle of the night. And usually the school, they go there the next morning, you know, to start school like normal, and that person just doesn't show up. And they go to their apartment and that person's gone.
can imagine their reasoning behind it. You know, living in a country, especially being single. I came here with somebody. Being single, living in a small town, you may not feel like you have a lot of people or you can connect very well.
I love your dad. You're so cute.
Yo, say something about me.
Say something about you?
Yeah, you have
You're
to.
a pervert.
You know me so well.
So what? I don't like perverts. So.
I mean, I'm not. I'm a very nice boy. I go to church every day.
Nice. But I am a half.
I was surprised that it only takes.
You're half Christian, half pervert? Oh my gosh, would be great.
Oh, my friend Chrissy.
Alright, so I'm really upset that me and Christine aren't going to work out. I thought I could just ask her to marry me over a bunch of meat, but she doesn't want to get married now, and I'm very sad. I'm very sad that I met her very late. We didn't even get a chance to date, but I thought we could just skip that and go right to getting married. And now we can't because she's half Christian. And I'm 100% pervert, so it will never work now. I will go home and cry tonight.
Hongkong's different. You can just go.
Yeah, you
Working out with their husband.
You have to get international school, and that's about it. You wouldn't go to. If you want to teach there, you have to tutor like a lot.
You have to do about
10-hour days anyway.
Yeah. I would love to go there. So once upon a time, I met Miles on his birthday. I think we've only hung out twice. His first day meeting or his day leaving. So enjoy your cake.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
If I would have known that, I would have gotten cake every time we would have hung out way more.
Yeah, we're sitting on.
Happy leaving to you. Happy leaving to you. Mumbly lyrics, good job. Oh my god, that's crazy. Oh, that's nice. Lucy and Hannah, my two favorite and most talented and beautiful coworkers, went out and bought me a shirt at Uniqlo because they love me and I love them, and what we have is special. Yeah, this is real. And Ricky gave me a used book. That's fucking big as shit.
It's a good book.
It has a very, very nice blurb from The Guardian at the bottom. And I trust The Guardian. I follow them on Twitter.
For sure, me too.
After living in Korea for well over a year, I've gotten pretty desensitized to saying bye to people. And it's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it used to be when I first moved here, in Yangnam, someone would leave every 2 to 3 months. And even, usually it was more than one person would leave at the same time. But you'd have to say bye. You know, these were people that had really shaped your first few months in Korea. Now at this point, when you start a relationship in Korea, you know at some point you're gonna part ways. And so, you know, it's not as hard to say bye as it used to be, but it's different.
I can squat 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I've seen Canadian Dave leave, I've seen Amanda leave, I've seen Byron leave, Luto. Saying goodbyes, I think it's easier than accepting a goodbye. Chandler. Chandler, don't you dare. I'm gonna come over here and you're gonna hate it.
괜찮냐고 네가 만일 내게 묻는다면 당연히 안 괜찮지라 말하겠지. 살짝 웃음 띤 채 아무렇지 않은 듯 그게 좀 더 어울릴 것 같은 대답.
It's people that come into your life and like you become so close with and you're with every single day and they become your family. I have people who I've met in Asia who are closer to me than like my real family is. And saying goodbye to those people is the hardest thing in the whole entire world that I've ever had to do, and I've had to do it so many times at this point.
Bye-bye. No bye-bye.
All bye-byes, just shoes. I will. You do the same thing.
We can meet one day somewhere. I don't know where.
Happy Chandler. Happy Chandler. Good. Thank you.
Good luck. Whatever you do.
I hope I do something.
괜찮냐고 네가 다시 내게 묻는다면 이제 아무렇지 않다 말하겠지 살짝은 아쉽고 때로는 생각나도 이번에는 내가 먼저 돌아서겠어
That was a super nice song. I was gonna have it too. Alright, you can try it one more time. I gotta wait, shift it over here now. Yeah, no, it's good.
끝나지도 끝낼 수도 없을 것 같은 아직도 한참은 남은 것 같은 끝나지도 끝낼 수도 없을 것 같은
It all fits, except for a pair of shoes and a towel.
Miles really didn't like Korea that much. He was a great guy. He was great fun to be around. But I could just tell that it wasn't for him. So I mean, it sucks for me because I don't have as many cool people to hang around with. But at the same time, so you're sad, but at the same time, you think, oh well, it's great because you're going and you're doing your thing now. So it's hard, but you gotta see the positive.
You know, you don't really speak to them much again at all, really. The odd Facebook message here and there.
It's really emotionally draining and exhausting, and every time you have to say goodbye to someone, you think to yourself, oh, I never want to get that close to someone again who I know I'm gonna have to say goodbye to.
Gwangju and then to Los Angeles.
What's like? Very sad. Very sad. Actually, I'm not a person who get attached with people easily, but I wasn't with them. I was not like the person I knew. I thought it was me. I didn't get attached with people, but it was my mistake.
Everybody kind of leaves how they should. I don't know if I did, but everybody leaves how they should, I think.
궁금한 질문은 수시로 떠올라 또 내 하루를 망쳐버릴 것만 같아.
I think Korea has been an amazing experience. I've done so much stuff since I moved here. I spent 20 years in America, and I feel like I've done more in my 1 year here than I've ever done in America because I can afford to do stuff. I have people I can travel with. I have other people who want to do stuff, and they have time to do stuff.
There's this kid on like the second row behind the bench, and he's just sitting there like playing like Game Boy.
No, my student went. And I was like, how was it? That's really cool. She's like, that's rubbish, it's no PC man.
I'm doing this now, but I would want to switch fields. I would want to work at a hospital. I would want to work at a bank, just to give things a try. I want to try somewhere new. I don't want to go back to America. I want to see my mom and my dog, but I don't want to live in America.
If we go to Chuncheon and we log out, it's going to charge us the whole way to Chuncheon.
We already paid it for Chuncheon too.
What's minimum wage in England?
5.60. So like, yeah, but if you're 21, it's like 6. So like $8 and $10.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's alright.
I'm gonna finish out my contract in about 3.5 months. I'll either sign back on at the same school or get a job at another school in Seoul. Stay 1 more year. I'm gonna apply to some graduate programs back in America.
From America and from England, like after we're done travelling, as always, been a topic of conversation about what we're going to do next. And I think it's just about coming to a decision. I think we've arrived on at the moment because I pretty much don't want to go back to England for a while yet.
I could teach here for another year, I could teach here for 10 years, I'm not sure. If I could get a university job here, I'd stay for a really long time. If I left Korea, it wouldn't necessarily be back to England. It might be to Spain, it might be to South America. But if I went back home, I'd probably study again and try and do something more practical.
My plan after Korea, I don't know. I've kind of given up on making plans because every time I do, they change. But I don't think America would ever be home again for me.
When my conversation stops. Just read the very last one. So aggravating.
솔직히 난 네가 너무나도 좋고 사랑하지만 가끔은 네가 정말 미워. 그 이유는 너도 이미 알고 있겠지. 친구들이 나를 가엾다고 생각할까봐.
Over your course here, you really find out who you are. You know, you find out kind of, what you do when no one else is looking, You definitely learn who you are, being by yourself, living on your own for a year or 2 or 3.
I've done things here I wouldn't have been able to do at home, financially, and because they aren't available at home. I love and meeting so many different people. I've been in situations I've been uncomfortable. I've done everything I wanted to do.
하지만 그래도 너를 안 좋아하는 것보단 쉬워. 어차피 10년 뒤에
We're really drunk on Makgeolli.
fine?
Yeah, it was totally fine.
불고 농담하고 재롱 피운다니까 정말로 내가 네
As soon as you get out of the country, you start you see it from a bird's eye view, if you like. you realise what's happening around the world. It opens up your eyes in amazing ways, and I recommend it to anyone.
I don't know if I've changed that much by living here. I know you're supposed to say, oh, I changed so much. I can speak Korean now, a little bit. I've got a Korean girlfriend. But personally, I don't think I've become incredibly wise or anything by being here. I've just had a great time and learned some interesting things.
It's been a long time. No, it's been forever.
Yeah. Christmas, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen
Oh,
it. Yeah.
this time you did that already.
No, yeah, I really haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
You doing well? Are you doing well?
Yeah, it's doing alright.
Are you, your contract's finished in
1.5 months.
1.5 months? Are you going back or staying more?
I'm going back, yeah.
Ah, nice.
I'm excited.
I understand.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Got my
You know, you have some regrets about not being able to be around with friends and family, but overall, you know, once you go home, I think a lot of people miss living in Korea and teaching here.
My time abroad has been absolutely amazing. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I have done a lot of incredible things that people back at home would never be able to imagine. I've done a lot of stupid things that I've grown from and learned from so much. I've grown as a person. I've learned more in the past 9 years in Asia than I have in my entire life. And it's just the most incredible experience. And, you know, I would, if anyone were wondering what they could do to make their life better, traveling would be it. And to be able to live abroad and stay in one place for an extended amount of time, that's the way to learn the most about yourself and to grow as a person.
As far as living abroad, I just don't have a taste for it. I think it's a little overrated, and I know cultural experiences are supposed to be good for you and broaden your horizon and this, that, and the other thing, but I feel like our generation kind of latches onto that a little too much, and we're losing our ability to root ourselves in a community and make our communities better. Like, when I get old and I start complaining about kids these days and stuff that I wish was better with our country, it'll be that I wish people took the time to establish themselves in their own communities and make a difference at home in a real tangible way, instead of going abroad on these half vacations and phoning in an English teaching career under, you know, the guise that they're doing somebody some sort of favor by teaching them English the way that they do.
Suddenly, okay, when the North Korea's attack happened, suddenly one of my close friends called, her name was Tranika. She just left because their parents made her do it, made her leave Korea. It was very threatening for them. So she left one day, just one day, really. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. So we just got together one night. And a few hours later, she would leave. We cried a lot at the restaurant. There were Vicky, Kate, Steve, Tranika, Gates, and me. Yeah. I cried a lot. Oh, so much. That was the first time I have to say goodbye to my close friend. And until then, I've never imagined they would leave for one day. Yeah, so it was very shocking to me. And after that, everyone left one by one. After that, Vicky, Steve, Kate, Phil, Laura.
갈 때? 그때 끝내자고는 말 안 했어. 계속 사귀자고 말했고, 그 다음에 공항에서 울었지. 케이트도 많이 울었지.
너도 많이 울었어?
울었지 나도. 케이트 가고 나서 울었지. 거기 마지막 그 들어가는 데 있잖아. 거기서 케이트가 많이 울었지.
넌 안 울었어?
나도 눈물 나왔지.
케이트 가고 나서 엄청 울었어?
내가 처음에 갈 때만 울고 내려올 때는 마음이 안 좋았지. 말하지 말라고. 아프다고 마음 아프다고.
나도 아프잖아. 근데 왜 헤어졌지?
헤어진 거야.
헤어졌었잖아 중간에.
그렇지. 왜냐면 케이트가 이제 1년 후에 온다고 했었는데 너무 떨어져 있으니까 보지도 못하고.
그래도 너 한동안 잊었었다고 했었잖아.
그렇지.
내가 물어보면은 기억 안 난다고 다 잊었다고 막 이랬잖아. 진심이었어? 잠깐은 진짜 잊었었어?
그렇지. 왜냐면 어차피 그때는 케이티가 뭐 나랑 이야기하면 안 온다고 했으니까 안 온다고 하고, 내가 맨날 내가 모른다고 하니까 걔도 이야기하다가 자기도 모른다고 하니까 나는 그냥 그때 잠깐 잊었지. 왜냐면 어차피 걔가 말하기로는 안 온다고 하니까 나도 그냥 그때 잠깐 잊었었지.
다시 보고 싶어?
그렇지. 항상 내 마음속에는 항상 있지. 한 곳에는 케이트.